welcome back to Brags in the Stands, Boilers in the Stands. Back with Katie Gearlds' interview. She'll be on in about 15 minutes or so, right around that time. Get to interview her, talk about her path as a player, as a coach. This upcoming season is an exciting season for the Purdue women's squad. So excited to dive into all of that. I'm joined by Kraig Bowers as always. Kraig, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, man, and I'm excited to talk a little Purdue women's basketball tonight. It's something that you and I have talked about really since you and Aiden joined the show last year a little bit. Just wanting to get into that flavor a little bit and talk a little bit of Purdue women's basketball. So, was lucky to run into Katie earlier this year and kind of chat with her and get to meet her for just a little bit and talk to her about maybe coming on the show and just really excited to dive into that a little bit tonight.
Yeah, I think it's an exciting time for the women's program. We'll dive into the national championship run and all of that and her successful career as a player. But at least as my time as a Purdue fan, or the Purdue fan, is like, this is probably the most momentum the program has had. I think there's definitely some hype. The Big Ten is crazy tough. It'll probably be the toughest conference in the country again. There's going to be multiple teams in the top 10, things like that. So Purdue's going to have a challenge from the start, but it's got a super young squad. I think, 6 incoming freshmen, 2 incoming transfers. Like, even with all that, though, there's still a ton of talent, and there's a ton of reason to be excited. There's team very, very, very well could make the tournament. Maybe even win a game or two. And then, once you get that far, it's just kind of how matchups go. Like, it's going to be exciting. There's a lot of good players. I'm excited to kind of pick her brain a little bit about what makes this team go. But I'm excited for it in general. Should be a good one.
Well, and I think if you haven't watched Purdue women's basketball since she took over, it's just an exciting brand of basketball. It's free flowing, the ball's popping, they're popping threes left and right all the time. Abby Ellis is confident and cocky about taking those shots whenever she can get them, and just it's super exciting brand of basketball in my mind to watch. And I graduated from Purdue in 2000, and so I was here when they won the national championship. I can't describe to you everything I saw that night after they won the national championship, but there were things on fire and things being pushed down the streets, and just a pretty crazy celebration on campus in general. And there was just so much buzz around the women's program in general, and that extended through Katie's career also. But, when I moved back down here later, you just didn't hear people talking about the women's team much. And since Katie's taken over, I just think that buzz is really building around the program again. I think people are excited about it. I think people really want to come and watch the team and support the team. And just like I said, the brand of basketball is so exciting and so fun to watch.
Yeah, it is. They're per her hoop stats, 56th best offense in the country last year. The Big Ten in general was an up-tempo league pretty much across the board. Everywhere you look, it's teams that play fast, and that obviously translates then to Purdue playing fast too. Super good three-point shooting team. But even better interior. They were number 13th in the country in 2-point percentage, which is also pretty wild. They're not like the biggest team, but still a ton of just talent everywhere. And like you said, it's the system that allows them to kind of go. They have this freedom. You have players like Janae Terry, who's this 6 foot point guard that kind of just runs the offense. She can do a bit of everything, kind of make really whatever passes that you want her to make, she'll do it. She was, I believe, was the ninth most assists per game last year in the country. Like, there's a ton of fun players, and it meshes well on offense, like you said. What are you excited to, I guess, before she gets on, what are you excited most to kind of get to ask her or talk with her about?
I'm just kind of interested a little bit about her perspective on the game itself. Kind of from when she played the game till now. I think there's certainly more eyes on the game as we talk about last year's run with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark from Iowa. I think there was just created a ton of buzz around the country. about women's basketball. I think we just see more viewers in general now, but I'm curious just from her mindset, maybe a little bit about how the game's changed, or if it has changed from her playing days till now, and just kind of her thoughts on that in general.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's starting to get the love that it deserves. Like you said, I think last year was, I believe it was the most viewed women's college game ever. The championship, I mean, between LSU and Iowa. Obviously, players like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese have a lot to do with that because there just is so much star power in the women's game. And even when you look across the Big Ten, there's a ton. Like Ohio State has a few, Indiana. You can kind of just go up and down the Big Ten, and there's going to be big names pretty much everywhere that you go. I'm excited just to kind of see specifically what it's like having her being able to coach Janae Terry and Abby Ellis. I think those are two players that are arguably some of the best in the country at what they do specifically. With Janae Terry, kind of like I already mentioned, running the offense. Abby Ellis is just one of the most efficient offensive players in the country. Shoots three well, gets to the rim, even though she's undersized. Like, it doesn't really matter. So I think I'm excited for that. But yeah, I don't know. What else? We got a few minutes before she comes on. What else do you kind of want to hit on?
Well, let's go ahead and thank our sponsors. So, tonight's program, interview with Katie Gearlds, is brought to you by Brokerage Brewing Company. It is the oldest brewery in West Lafayette, Indiana. If you've never been, it's a great venue. It's a straight shot pretty much from there to Mackey up on Covington by Pizza Hut and Old Time grocery store over there. It's a personal favorite of mine to stop by and visit, and they've got a few upcoming events. October 20th, they got a food truck festival. They bring in just a ton of food trucks called Friends of Fred Food Truck Festival. Great time. And October 27th, they've got Booze and Brews, a Halloween party coming up as well. And they have song bingo once a month as well. And they've got a Hispanic Heritage song bingo coming up this month. But they're just great people, really good beer. If you are a beer drinker and a beer fan, a brewery fan, my personal favorite in this area for sure. They are serving food now Wednesday through Saturday as well. Brian's daughter, Mia, has a little cafe called Rose's Cafe right next door that you can get food also. But it's a great place to stop. If it's a late tip, a 9 o'clock game or something like that, great place to stop and get a little bit of food and a little bit of booze before you head on over to the game.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody go check that out. Appreciate them helping sponsor this one. So, still we're hoping 5-10 minutes, something like that. And then she'll be on. I kind of want to hit on the early, the basketball's almost here. We're 33, 32 days, something like that away. For anybody that doesn't know, Purdue plays at number 3 UCLA opening day. There's always a lot of talk of opening day games are bad, whatever. Like, if you want a good opening day game, watch Purdue at UCLA. UCLA is number 3 team in the country. Purdue has a ton of new pieces, like we're going to talk about, ton of upside and a fun roster. That one's going to be a really good game. Also on the women's side, doesn't pertain to Purdue, but Ohio State's playing USC. Those are 2 top 20 teams. On the women's side, USC, I believe, or Ohio State's a top 10. I think they're like number 7 to 9, kind of depending on where you look in the rankings. So that's a top 20 matchup opening day. I just know that that's always usually a topic of like, hey, we waited this long for college basketball to come back and there's no good games. There are 2 very good ones in the Big Ten on the women's side. So definitely go check those out. Purdue kind of gets on the women's side. They're going to have this new roster and they're just going to kind of get thrown into the gauntlet. I'm going to, kind of talk. That's one of the questions I want to ask Katie is how important that'll be. Cause it's, you're playing the number 3 team in the country, true road game day 1. Like that's good.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenging and interesting matchup for sure. And what is actually a preview of a matchup that's going to occur on a fairly regular basis coming up as UCLA joins the Big Ten. Yeah. I'm excited for those West Coast teams to join. I know I've talked to you about this. A lot of people, when they've asked me what my thoughts are about adding more teams to the Big Ten, I'm excited about it. If nothing else, just because I like to travel and go to road games. I try to be a true fan in the stands. As Bragg says, that's where this program started.
Yep.
And you can bet I'm going to make it out to UCLA, Washington, Oregon, USC at some point over the next few years for whether it's a men's or a women's game, either one. I'm going to make it out to those campuses at some point.
Yeah, that's fair. It'll be more stadiums and to cross off if you want to hit all the Big Ten. I'm assuming that hope that they do the scheduling where it's like you play at USC and at UCLA in the same week. It would be silly not to do that, I think. So that would make it a little bit easier too. And then obviously Washington, Oregon, who knows? Maybe by the time we're talking next year, it's like 26 teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I think they've already announced that they're going to try to kind of group those games together just to try to help the travel situation out as much as they possibly can when people make that West Coast swing. So
yeah, I mean, you even see it for some sports on the East Coast. Like I know Purdue volleyball 2 weeks ago, they played at Maryland at Rutgers. And those are the two Eastmost teams. So there's no reason why they wouldn't do that. Let's see. Where's Braggs? Braggs is working right now.
Yeah, Chicago has a Thursday night game this week, I think. Yeah, so Braggs is in studio right now as they're doing shows, getting ready for tomorrow for the Bears game.
Yep.
That's what he says anyway. For those of you that don't know, Katie's a huge Kansas City fan, so I personally think that he's just avoiding the show so that he doesn't have to take any crap from Katie after Kansas City dismantled Chicago the other week.
Yeah, it's fair. We miss Aiden. Yeah, Aiden, he's doing good. I've kept in contact with him. He's super busy. He's kind of this does a little bit of everything for the program down there in San Antonio. So he's doing great. I'm excited to see them this year. I believe their opening game is at Texas to start the year. Who knows? Maybe if they knock off Texas, there'll be a little bit of a thread or something on Twitter breaking down that one. So yeah, just kind of killing a couple minutes now until we get into the game. Update for Purdue volleyball. Purdue volleyball wins 25-11 in the first set. They're playing Illinois at home. They're having a great year too. Really, just Purdue sports in general. Like it's a good time to be a Purdue sports fan. It really is.
Yeah, and I just saw something earlier today that the athletic director in the next board of trustees meeting is actually up for a contract extension. I think it's safe to say, as Purdue fans have watched these sports kind of grow and flourish since the new AD has come in, that everybody would be excited to see that happen.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I came up with a question. What player on this women's roster are you most excited to watch next season, do you think?
Abby. Like I just love watching her fly around the court. I love watching her pop threes. A little bit of swagger. Katie played with a bunch of swagger back in the day when she played, and I think she kind of takes on that swagger that her coach has, and just I just love the way she plays the game and the confidence that she has in taking that shot anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
How about you?
It's between her and Janae Terry for me. Like I just love people that can facilitate better than everybody else on the floor. That's just like, you look at them and they're like, yeah, they're at an elite tier facilitating. And Janae Terry is absolutely that. But then for a lot of the same reasons for Abby Ellis, like she's just a shot maker. Like there's no other way to put it. When they knocked off Ohio State, who was number 2 at the time, Abby Ellis was on fire from 3 to start the game. I think she ended up hitting like 5 in the game, but I believe she hit 3 or 4 in the first quarter, even to end, or the first half. Maybe she ended the first half. I think she had like this step back 3. She had a dagger late in the game to kind of just kill it because Ohio State was coming back at that point. Madison Layden, she's also, skilled from 3. And she's kind of this do-it-all type wing that I enjoy. I could just kind of go down the roster because then there's like Caitlin Harper, who's a lead in the post. Keep going down. We'll save some of that for the actual interview, but it should be fun. I'm excited for this year. I mean, last year, Purdue, that was their 3rd sellout in history. Is that what I saw? I could be completely making that up. But the Purdue women's game, we'll see. All right. Got it.
All right. We've got her. Hey, Katie, how we doing?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Good.
Really good, really good.
Y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
good.
can hear you.
Okay, good deal.
All right. Well, we are glad to welcome on Katie Gearlds. Long list of accomplishments. I was thinking about how to introduce you, and I was looking through your accomplishments, and I was thinking about this big Game of Thrones style introduction. Indiana Mrs. Basketball, third team All-American in college, won 2 national champions as a coach. Just very successful, former WNBA player, very successful at every level that you've played or coached along the way. So we're just really excited to have you on today.
No, I'm excited to be on. I love talking Purdue. I love talking hoops. I mean, just my kind of night.
Yep.
Good deal. Our co-host Greg Braggs, or I should say the main host Greg Braggs, wasn't able to come on tonight because he covers the Chicago Bears. But in reality, I think he just didn't come on because he was scared that you might blow him some crap about Kansas City kicking the crap out of him.
That 41-10 butt whooping. Man, it's crazy. I like Justin Fields. I want them to do well, but oof. It's not looking good up in Chicago right now.
No, it's not. Joe, fire away.
Yeah, so this is your third year at Purdue now. I guess we can just kind of start as a general overview, but like, what are you most excited about with this roster? You got a ton of new players coming in, 6 freshmen, a couple transfers, along with some upperclassmen that are returning. But what are you kind of just most excited for with this roster?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is like we've got 5 returners, 8 new kids, 2 are sophomores, as out of the portal in terms of like transfer portals. This is like there's only 2 kids on our roster that like didn't commit to play for me of our 13, right? So like the numbers have kind of changed a little bit. And the 2 kids that didn't commit to me are from the state of Indiana. So I've known Jayla and Madison for a really long time. The biggest thing we have 13 young women who love Purdue. And I'm just like, it's the best thing in the whole world.
Yeah, Katie, as we kind of go in and look at the roster this season, 3 pairs of sisters on the team, right?
Yeah.
Is that just a family feel? Just all really good players?
All by design, right? So like everything is great right now, because we're not, playing time's up. We haven't played any games. We haven't lost any games. But I can't imagine it being a problem. We have. So Madison was on our team last year, and then Caitlin was on our team last year. Madison's younger sister is a freshman, McKenna, and then Caitlin's sister finished her freshman year at Grand Canyon, jumped in the portal. I think that speaks to like how much Madison and Caitlin loved playing here for Purdue, and they were, McKenna and Elena were able to see everything from a distance, and okay, I want to be a part of that. And then the 2 Reynolds we have, we recruited really hard. Mila was recruited hard by Coach Versa before I got here, went to Maryland. And then I recruited Amaya really, really hard and was like completely heartbroken when she chose to go to Maryland, obviously play with her sister. So, Mila just didn't have the best time for her at Maryland and wanted to get closer to family, be in the state of Indiana again. And for us, it was an easy call, no brainer. So yeah, like I said, no issues right now. No playing. We haven't lost any games, but just you talk about really, really cool families and great people. Excited to have the 3 sets on our team.
Good. You're on mute, Joe.
Oh, my bad. I was muted. I was just saying, like, it brings that family appeal that some players even look for, things like that. Somebody that doesn't have a sister on the team, but super important to this team is Janae Terry. And when we found out that we were going to be able to interview you, this was probably the question I was most excited to ask. And it's just like, what is it like to be able to have somebody who has that level of facilitating to her game? And it's not even just purely, pick and roll, point guard, things like that. But like the one set I noticed that you guys would run a lot was like this horns backdoor type play where you'd have Terry at the elbow and flow into this like stagger on the other side. And so now she's in, she's at the elbow and not in a traditional point guard spot.
Mhm.
So what is it like having somebody like that you can kind of plug and play wherever, and you're going to get an elite facilitator?
Yeah, it honestly, Joe, it's so awesome. I'm a big LeBron James fan, and he's like one of the best passers I've ever seen. So I watch a lot of Cleveland Cavs stuff, Miami Heat, and a lot of Lakers stuff. Like, where do they put him to bet? I mean, his passing ability is his greatest asset to the offensive end, right? So they kept both Cleveland, Miami, LA always ran the same action where she was at the pinch post. So it's like, okay, let's put her there and let her. She's got her dribble still, right? She can attack if they don't come and guard her, but let's use her skill to the best of our advantage. I mean, I'd love to play with Janae. You're running the lane with her. I mean, she is looking for her shooters. She's so fun. Like, she'll come over to me like, hey, my shooters aren't shooting it well today, but like, I'm gonna keep finding them. I was like, they got you. I mean, it's just so fun. I mean, you think about somebody who chases a triple double, and like, points is the last one to come for her, right? It's always assists, rebounds, and then we're usually trying to get her a bucket or two at the end of the game so she can get that triple double.
Yeah. One of the things that I just love watching the team play because of the style that you guys play, in terms of just kind of playing fast and being free flowing and moving around. Is that intentional? Is that something that Joe was talking about before you came on, that the league, the Big Ten itself is kind of that way, kind of built that way on the women's side? Is that just your offensive philosophy, or something that kind of has to be done to win?
Yeah, I think, like Joe said, I think that the game is starting to play a lot faster in the Big Ten. I think when I played, it was like power, basketball, strength. Even the men's is, still like that to an extent. But I want to play fast. I want to score fast. Like, today in practice, the last couple of days in practice, we put, we guard our practice guys, and then we throw 13 seconds on the shot clock. We got to get a shot. We got to get a shot off a good shot in 13 seconds. I wish we all played it with a 24-second shot clock. I think the game it moves faster when you watch it at, the professional level, but more importantly, over in Europe, there's just so much more skill you've got to have in a short amount of time. And then, let's be honest, you're not guarding a ball screen and a ball screen and a ball screen. Like, when the men had 35 seconds on a shot clock and you had to guard like 17 actions and there's still 6 seconds on the shot clock, you're like, man. But no, yeah, I want to play fast.
Yeah, and I think it kind of showed last year with how good the offense was. It just seemed like everybody was confident, and that's super important for a team to succeed. I think we'll ask about all the newcomers in a bit, but we already kind of mentioned there's 6 freshmen, 2 transfers, 5 returners, and you're going to open it up at UCLA, who's generally ranked number 3 right now in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Your true road game at UCLA to start the season, day one. How important will that be? One, just to have that type of experience under the belt for this team as they mesh, but also just get these newcomers, like, throw them into the fire is pretty much what's happening.
Yeah, we we've actually talked about it a lot. So, ESPN came out with their rankings. I think we play 7 of the top 13 teams in the preseason right now. Like, those are our rankings. Like, UCLA's 3, Notre Dame is 11, and the teams are Big Ten teams, but still, like, the front heavy league part of the Big Ten is really, really strong. But we talk a lot about getting Purdue women's basketball back up to the top, right? We want to be back in that conversation. So we got to go play them, right? It doesn't do us any good to go out there and go 12-0, 11-0, whatever in the non-conference and not get, not be challenged. And so we've got to, I told our kids today, like, yo, we got to be ready. We're not like dipping our toe into the cold pool, like at the shallow end. Like, we're diving into the deep end right away. And our young kids just got to be ready. We got 5 returners. They can't play 40 minutes a game. So they've got to be ready. And I think they'll be up for the challenge.
Yeah. Talking about getting Purdue women's basketball kind of back up to the top. I graduated from Purdue in 2000. So I was on campus. I was here on that national championship run. I remember how crazy campus was that night and in general, but there was just so much buzz around the program during that time and through your playing days. And it seems like that buzz is growing again since you've kind of came back and taken over. This offseason, you bring back Kelly Kamara onto your coaching staff. And when you look up and down your coaching staff, there's a lot of Purdue alumni on there. Is that purposeful to try to kind of bring that core that was here when Purdue was kind of in their heyday?
I don't know if that was purposeful. Like, Alex was here before. She played here, obviously. But you want to surround yourself with good people and with winners, and Kelly's a winner. But that was a no-brainer for me. If I could have got her back earlier, I would have. But she had made some commitments to her previous head coach that she promised her a couple things. So, but no, Kelly's been great. She's got great energy. And I think that I love Purdue more than anybody, but no, I think Kelly Kamara has me beat. Like that woman is everything about Purdue. It's been so great. I've learned a lot from her in a short amount of time. And she was a part of that 99 championship team. This is the 25th anniversary. So we're doing some kind of celebration. So it's been good to kind of like not include her in all that stuff. So she, and then so she can get like the really cool surprise. I think it's the weekend. We play November 12th at home. I want to say football plays on the 11th. Is it Minnesota? Maybe I don't remember. I don't remember off the top of my head who it is, but like we've got a whole weekend planned for him and just super excited. But like that's what we're chasing. I was actually texting a lot of those players today. Like we're chasing, what they laid the foundation, and we gotta get back.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. The 25th anniversary. I didn't even realize that, but yeah, that is this year. Last year was a pretty big game with the Purdue IU, the sellout of Mackey. Obviously, the result wasn't exactly what you wanted, but what was it like even just being able to walk out of the tunnel and you see a packed crowd at Mackey?
Yeah. I can't put it into words. Like I don't know how Coach Paint does it every single game. Like I never even like when I played here, we never sold out Mackey. Like we had good crowds and we averaged about 8,500, 9,000, and we got to the 12,000s a few times, but like we never sold it out. I just can't remember. Like I can like walking down the tunnel, like just pure chills, because it's everything we want this program to be about. And look, people support winners, right? Like we've got to do our part and we've got to win games to get people back. But I think slowly we're starting to pull, some people back that you see them around town. Like, oh, I got my season tickets. I had them when you played and then I got away, but now I'm excited to get them back. I think we've already announced that we broke an attendance like record in terms of like season tickets, but I think we're going to break another one here pretty soon from even further back for season tickets hold. So I think that's smart. Like bring back Kelly Kamara, then everybody wants to come watch Kelly play, like or Kelly coach, like that. That's all strategy right there.
Gotcha. It was fun to watch you as a player, and now it's fun to watch you on the sidelines. And I think consistently, one thing I could say is that you do both with some swagger, and just watching your team play, it seems like they adopt that swagger from you. Is that like trying to instill that swagger and confidence in them? It seems like that's I don't want to say a focal point, but at least seems like they have done that.
Yeah, I feel like they've embraced, like who I am and how I go about my life. But like we tell them all the time, like it doesn't matter who you're playing, like walk on the court like you own it. Like that is your court. And I think that's how I played. Maybe I knew sometimes like, okay, maybe the other player was more athletic or taller or faster, stronger, but like my goodness, like I was gonna be the best player on that floor. And that's kind of the way, it's funny. Like my boss, not Mike, but like my deputy AD who I report to, who is basically, she's the boss woman. She's like, man, we got a lot of little KGs running around here this year, and I was like, I'm all for it. Everybody's got a little edge to them, little bit of swag. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. You played 3 seasons in the WNBA, then you had his overseas career. We kind of mentioned that swag and that, and you had it at Purdue in your playing days, but even in the WNBA overseas, like What I guess did you kind of learn from just being a part of the WNBA, playing overseas, being a professional, that you can kind of have been able to apply throughout your entire coaching career?
Yeah. I think just playing for so many different coaches at different levels in different places. I mean, I feel like I kind of took from bits and pieces from all of them. When you kind of like I'm kind of this like melting pot coach of everybody I played for. And I think that was the coolest thing, just experience wise. And I learned a lot, like just being teammates with Sue Bird. 3 years I played with Sue Bird, and I heard, she would tell me stories about Gino and how Gino would coach. And like, I feel like a couple times I've like referenced those with a couple of our players. And that's just pure experience. We're all like, we all run and doing all the same thing. We all steal. We're all thieves, right? Like we all steal and mock and try to emulate what other teams are doing. And that's all I've done. I've been fortunate. I played on a lot of good teams and with a lot of good players, but most importantly, I had a lot of good coaches, and they all have a piece of who I am on the sideline.
Yeah, that's fair. And when I was doing kind of some of the the research for this show, I think I saw at one point you were a player coach. Is that true?
So I blew my knee out playing in Greece one year. So after surgery, it was basically I was like an assistant coach because I couldn't play anymore.
Okay.
They were still paying me and all that stuff, and I just became like an assistant, like had this assistant coach role.
Was that your first time coaching then?
Yeah. So like that was and it didn't last for very long because. Well, I stayed there rehab for 3 months, but then I came home to the States.
Okay.
So then when I started coaching at Marion, like that was really like my first time ever coaching, ever. Okay. Yeah.
You said it was a short time. Did that time at all like influence you? You're like, oh, I do want to be a coach, or was that kind of always a known thing for you?
I think when I started playing along Sue Bird, that's when I realized like, okay, because when I was playing in the WNBA, I wasn't getting the minutes I did as at Purdue, right? It's just a completely different game. But like, I knew my job, right? Go in, take open shots, knock them down, like give Sue Bird a break, give Tanisha Wright, like give my teammates their breather. Like I knew what my job was supposed to be. But like when Sue would come out of the game and sit by me, she would ask me, "What do you see? What do you think?" And I was like, man, this is the best point guard in the world, maybe of all time, and she's asking my opinion. And like I think that's kind of where it all started. Like that's kind of what I want to do.
Gotcha. Going into this season, you talked about the quality of teams that you're going to face really early on. And you do have quite a few people coming back that have played quite a few years, but also a lot of new young faces. How would you define success for this team this year?
I think it's taken a step forward, like taking another step. My first year we finished 8th or 9th in the Big Ten. I think 9th maybe. Yeah, I think we finished 9th in the Big Ten. Last year we finished 7th in the Big Ten. So I think it's just we made the NCAA tournament, but it was a playing game, right? So I think that's the next step, right? Like we're not talking we're winning the Big Ten. We're not talking, any of that kind of stuff. Like let's take the next step. Oh, can you hear the pup? I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
No, they want to see it. They want to see the
pup.
pup.
Oh my God. She sees me and I'm like, stop. There's like no other place in my house right now. Sorry, guys.
No,
you're fine. You're absolutely fine.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I think that's the next step. So better than 7th. Get to the NCAA tournament, no playing game. I think that's the call there. Yeah.
It's fair. Gotcha. What do you think will be? Obviously, I know you don't want to give too much away, but what do you think are going to be like some of your major keys or major emphasis points for this roster then to kind of hit that level?
I think our young kids have got to be ready to go. I think I look at we're really skilled. I'm a big believer in our 5 returners because they've been through the trenches with us. But our young kids are going to have to be ready to go. And they're going to have to, we need production. It's not just like spot minutes. It's not just come in and give somebody a breather. Like we need production on both ends of the floor. And I think they're all skilled enough to do it. At the same time, I've got this like, I'm like kind of like cautiously optimistic that we're going to win some games we probably shouldn't on paper. But then on the flip side, are we going to lose some that we shouldn't because, we're going to have some bumps along the way. And hopefully that's when our 5 returners will kind of step in and not let us have those moments.
Yeah. Well, I think we told you 15 to 20 minutes, and we're at 20 minutes. So if you need to go, we want to give you certainly an opportunity to go, but we've certainly enjoyed having you on.
Yeah, hold on. Let me go get her, and then everybody can see what's been in the background here.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. There was like 3 different people that were like, show us the dog.
Yeah.
So this is the little girl here. Gotta say hi.
Hey, wait, what's your dog's name?
Her name's Coda.
Coda.
That's my dog's name.
No way.
Yeah, I got a Labradoodle named Dakota, but we call him Coda all the time.
Yeah, she's just Coda. I wanted a K name. Obviously she's a Chiefs fan. She's a big George Karlaftis fan. So yeah, she's fun. She's 7 months old.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Sorry for all the noise in the background.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We just had people that really wanted to see it now. So.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dick.
All right. Well, hey, it was great to have you on, and we wish you the most success this season. So
yeah, appreciate it, guys. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah,
right.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see ya.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
All right, and that was Katie Gearlds, Purdue women's basketball head coach. I had fun with that, being able to kind of pick the brain of what this upcoming year will look like, what kind of her experience has been to help lead her to this point. I'm super excited for this season. I think it's going to be a fun year. Obviously, like the Big Ten's super tough. She even mentioned there's going to be some bumps along the way, and when you have this young of a roster, I mean, it is 8 players that are freshmen or sophomores. Like, this is a young team, but a talented team and a ton of upside. So it's going to be fun. I appreciate her coming on.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said at the beginning, you and I have been talking about this for a little while now, about wanting to get in and do at least a little bit of women's basketball coverage, because it's exciting what they're doing. They're definitely on the upward trajectory. They're an exciting brand of basketball to watch, and need to give them some love and some props for what they've got going on. So I'm going to jump in here and thank our sponsors once again for this show, Joe. So want to thank again Brokerage Brewing Company from West Lafayette, Indiana, for sponsoring this show. It is West Lafayette's oldest brewery. It is my favorite brewery in this town, in Lafayette or West Lafayette. Highly suggest trying the 7-shooter there. They've got some big upcoming events. They got a food truck festival October 20th. There'll be 10 or 12 or 15 food trucks there. You can get food from a bunch of different varieties of type of food there while you grab a brew. And then October 27th, they have a Halloween party as well. I saw somebody in the chat say they need food. They have started serving food again, kind of, right next door. Mia opened up a restaurant called Rose's Cafe that serves on Wednesday through Saturday. Really good food there as well. So once again, thank you to Brokerage Brewing Company. And you're on mute again, Joe. But as we it's okay.
I'm in a new spot. Yeah.
It's our first real interview show again of the season. We're breaking in. We don't have our main guy Braggs on here. Yeah. Big time, big shot, having to do some production of Chicago Bears stuff for a game that they have coming up tomorrow. Although at this point, I'm thinking he might rather talk Purdue basketball. I'm not sure.
That's probably true. That is probably true. So, but yeah, like you said, this is the first one. We're back just over a month. I know we kind of floated out this mailbag idea before. September just got busy straight up. But I would like to probably do at least a couple more shows before the season starts, and then we'll get into exhibitions, we'll get into games, all of that, and we'll get right into the swing of things. So exciting times, both the women's team, the men's team, a ton of excitement around both teams. I'm excited to watch them. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun winter watching both of them. It's going to be real interesting just to watch how these young players mesh together. And I guess from your perspective, I don't know how much you've looked into any of the new freshmen coming in or the transfers coming in, but is there anybody in particular that you're super excited to watch off of that list of new players coming in?
Probably Mila Reynolds is the one that stands out the most. Mary Ashley Stevenson is also, she's, I think a lot of them, I think they do have good upside in general, but those are probably the two I'm looking for. Mila, her sister Amaya also is up. They're both high recruits. I believe I saw that Amaya is going to red shirts. Don't quote me on that. I probably shouldn't have even said it because I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure she's red shirting, but they're both high recruits. Mila just, didn't quite get the playing time, whatever the situation was at Maryland, but you commit to Maryland, you have talent. So I'm excited to see kind of how she fits probably the most with this team out of the newcomers. What about you?
And they have a younger brother, right? That we're recruiting on the men's side too.
Yep.
Yeah. So that'd be a nice little twist if we got the whole family at Purdue playing for both teams along the way. So definitely just excited to get in and watch this group, see how they mesh. And like you said, they're going to get thrown into the fire right away. The Big Ten as a conference is incredibly good from a women's college basketball standpoint. So nothing about it's going to be easy, but it's certainly going to be a fun ride to watch. And I think obviously down the road, when you just look at the recruiting class that she was able to put together, and I think you can tell she really connects with her players. Like you can see that.
Yeah.
When you go to a practice, when you're at a game, just watch it on the sidelines, you can tell that she really connects and that the players buy in. And I don't think that recruiting train is going to slow down anytime soon because of that.
No, I don't see why it would. Like we kind of mentioned, like the WNBA experience. Oh, like she has the professional experience. We didn't even mention like her Marion coaching days. She won multiple national championships there. She turned Marion into a powerhouse at the NAIA level. Like she's kind of had success follow her too because of some of it, probably because of that swagger and just how dedicated she is. You can tell she loves Purdue. She really connects with the players. Like, yeah, she has that swagger and it just kind of connects to, I don't want to say the younger generation because I'm not that much older than these players, but
you're still a young pup.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the players that are in college, like her demeanor, attitude, it just seems like it really does connect.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
well, I don't know if you've got much more to get into or not.
No, I don't think so. We'll, like I said, I hope that we will actually be back sooner rather than later. And
we've just got to pick a date. Coach Painter, Bragg said yesterday that Coach Painter's agreed to come back on. So we've just got to find a date that's right, that works for all of us. And we'll be doing a preview with him as well for the men's team as we approach that season also.
Yep. So,
and I get some exciting news, guys. I will be broadcasting from the beach in Hawaii, post-game shows. I will be there in person, and I will be at the Toronto game in person as well to give you the true Boilers in the stands experience.
And that's gonna be fun. I am jealous. It's gonna be a crazy non-schedule for them. It really is.
Yeah, for sure.
So, all right. Let everybody know where they can find you on Twitter and all that good stuff.
Yep, at Kraig Bowers 34 on Twitter under the name Boiler Diehard. And then on Facebook, obviously, I still run the Boiler Diehards Facebook group. I think we're at 13,000 members, somewhere around that range now. So you can join there. It's a place where we have definite policies about how to interact with other fans. And there's a lot of people on there that love talking Purdue sports in general. And then we also obviously share all of our content directly to that site as well. So you never miss a show.
Yeah, definitely go check that out. That comment makes me think that there are people that don't abide to those rules, but you can follow me on Twitter at JoeJacksonCBB, on YouTube at Feed the Post, also having just Big Ten men's and women's coverage. So You can follow Boilers in the Stands. We're at Brags in the Stands right now on YouTube. You can make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy all sorts of Purdue stuff coming. It really, really, I've said it like 25 times, but I truly am excited for this year. Like it is such a good time to be a fan of Purdue Boilermakers. So especially on the basketball side. So definitely do that. Be on the lookout. We're kind of, in terms of purely Boilers in the Stands, we're going to have some new stuff popping up soon. Be on the lookout for that. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll catch you whenever the next one is.